was a young woman in New York whom I made acquaintance with, who, when she heard about me going, said, "That sounds so wonderful, I wish I could go." And I said, "Well, we are not going to have a budget for a hostess or someone to work in the gallery, but if you're willing to come, you'll certainly have a good time." And she said, "It would be ideal for me to come and spend, and I want nothing out of this. Underscore, I want nothing out of this." So I said, "Good, attractive woman coming, friendly, very buoyant woman," and it sounded like a very delightful situation. So we went to London, met with the two partners, and the older man said he was going to send his assistant with us, who was going to carry the designs. And in the meantime, my friend Vittorio de Montezemolo, who's the consul general to the United States from Italy, told me of people to contact there if I had trouble with customs, and I had to look up various governmental figures there to help promote the gallery if I needed them, or if I wanted to meet them. He assured me they'd be nice people to know. Well, we set off. There was Nell and this assistant of the gallery people in London, and myself bound for Rome. And at customs, of course, they said, "Well, we can't let this through. If you're going to, you're probably going to sell this." And I said, no, exhibition. And he gave me so much trouble. I said, and I gave him a big top name in the Italian government. I said, "Call this man. This is his direct number to his office. And you will find that it's quite all right to do this." Well, I so browbeat the poor customs man, he thought, go, pass. So anyhow, what happened was that while I was there, the English partner said he thought it would be very wise if we banked the money in England and not open an Italian bank account. It would save a lot of probably taxes and blah, blah, blah. So I said, sure. And he would come every so often to collect the money, and I would send it off with him. And in the meantime, we had wonderful exhibitions, and Robert Lindbat-Tobins came in the first week I was there. John Colominati gave a luncheon up on the hill next to the old palace where he lived, and Robert Tobin was one of the guests, and Sam Barber, and a lot of wonderful people there. Anyhow, I thought this is really the most wonderful world I could possibly be in. And Robert Tobin came and, just bought and bought and bought, and also we became very nice friends. And there was a little problem though when we were to close the gallery. The assistant packed up what was left, but we had enormous sales, and it was really, it put me in touch with other collectors and people from America and across the world that had collections. It was a nice contact to know people, and it helped my reputation. Well, I was to go on a little holiday to Sicily and then go to England to talk about the gallery in New York if it was going to happen, and certainly to get my half of the monies. So I went to Sicily, had a lovely time, got to London, and when the plane landed I thought, odd, both of the partners are here, something's wrong with this picture. And they took me to lunch and announced that there was no money forthcoming for me. All the money was spent on the expenses of getting her to Italy and the gallery, blah, 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 which I knew was not true because, I did all the work for nothing, and I knew what had been taken in. But I thought, no way to argue, play it cool. I'm going to go back to Sicily, where I have a very nice friend waiting, and I'll just lick my wounds and don't be upset. Don't be upset. Well, the man who, the bad guy in this, excused himself, went to the men's room and was nauseous because I didn't give him an argument. And I went back to Sicily and picked fruit off the trees and mussels off the rocks. I had no money left. I worked watering the roses for an old couple. He was a professor from, they were Germans, but they had been living in South Africa, and he had a wonderful African art collection, but they were too feeble to do any gardening, so I did the gardening, and with the pennies I got left, I sent a letter to the Vittorio de Montezemolo, the Consul General of Italy and said, "You've always admired the drawing, this wash picture in my house, my apartment in New York. I'm stuck here in Sicily, no money. If you'd like it, send me," and I mentioned a modest sum. And he did. Immediately it came. And then I also had a, not Erte, the other one, some great art expert here of the French drawing would remember. He, maybe I have it in my notes here. I had a drawing of his, Jean...
Lautrec.
I'm sorry?
I'd say Lautrec.
No. At that time, he was in the mid 20th century artist. Anyhow, very well known. And this psychoanalyst had always admired it, so I wrote her a letter saying, "It's yours for a modest sum." She sent a check. So David and I flew back to New York, and I ran into someone who had been in Sicily, who knew of a gallery that was looking for a director. I went to see them. I was on the condition that I could use the gallery for theater design in the back of the gallery while the artists used the front, and then I could live there in this gallery without much heat or hot water, because I had no money, and my gallery, my apartment was rented out, and that was good to keep that. But to stay alive, I lived in the back of the gallery, got my theater design gallery open 1 week before they did. Oh, but the reason that I was so determined to do it while I was in Sicily, remember Nell, who wanted nothing? She was meeting with Peter in the south of France, and I thought, well, they're having a little holiday. And I wrote to her and said, "Take my money, keep it, but get it from him. He shouldn't have that." And back from the Carlton Hotel in their fancy blue stationery was a very short note. "Bon voyage on your road to oblivion."
Whoa.
I couldn't believe. Here, what does this chapter say?
Bon voyage on your road to oblivion.
Well, I thought I would commit suicide. Then I said, no. And I was so utterly shocked that I could trust someone, offered them my money, and she said, "Bon voyage on your road to oblivion." And it was so cruel. And there's some people that only can kick you when you're down, and I couldn't be more down than that. But anyhow, plucking off the fruit from the trees, walking up and down the steep mountain from Taormina to the sea, and doing good exercises and swimming, I got stronger and better fit to come back and do combat. And as fortunate the little pieces fell together, this gallery needed and wanted me, and I needed and wanted them, and off we went. Opening 1 week before. Now here's where Robert Lindback-Tobins comes back in. Collector of all collectors. He comes in always in the morning, and I, by the way, tippled a lot. But he spilled, I thought I spilled more than most people drank, but he spilled more than what I spilled. Anyhow, in the morning we'd have our little tipple at the gallery. He'd look at all these new designs up there, and then we'd go out to a wonderful restaurant and have some more night. Well, you had to get on your feet, didn't you? And so we'd come back to the gallery, and he always had a cane. He always affected a cane. And he would just say, "I'll take that wall, and I'll take that portfolio." He bought not everything inside, but just about. And he certainly was a big help to keeping the gallery floating. But this is, I'm repeating, when I went to see his work in the warehouses in San Antonio, it was not properly cataloged. And a collector has to not only, first of all, consider, can they afford it, but can they catalog it and take care of it? Can they maintain it? Whether it takes room, temperature control, whatever. There's so many things to collect. You can't. Well, maybe as Imelda Marcos could collect as many pairs of shoes. Maybe that didn't take the maintenance, and she had someone to maybe throw away the scuffed up ones. But artwork is something that is sacred, and it enlivens everyone's life. And you have to respect and revere and take care of it. So, let's see, now we're going on to other things. I just remember, oh yes, Santa Fe.